The three parts of three-point light setup are key light, fill light, and backlight. The key light is at a 45-degree angle above Rocky and is covering the majority of her face, so that is the red light. The fill light is just the lamp on the ground, which is just a white light, and it's just softening all the shadows on the opposite side of her face. And then the backlight allows her frame to stand out from our background, and that is just the other part of the lamp. Three factors that affect depth of field is the focal length, aperture, and distance. So the focal length is how Bree is walking away, and she's always going to be in focus because the focal length is longer, so she can walk away or come close and she's going to be in focus. The aperture, if I close down the aperture, the subject comes into focus. A smaller aperture means it'll be in focus farther, so the darker this image is of Bree, then the more in focus it is versus the light, it gets a little more fuzzy. And then finally, the distance. So as I focus on the closest spiral cookbook, the other ones behind it all get a little blurry. However, if I focus on one of the further away spiral cookbooks, then most of them are all in focus. Key frames mark the point in time where you specify the value.
I'm going to go over to the pen tool. Now I'm going to add little key frames right here where it spikes a little, and go back up and adjust these down a little bit because they're a little too much, and that sounds better.
The rule of thirds is applied by aligning a subject with the guidelines in their intersection points, placing the horizon on the top or bottom line, and allowing the other leaner features in the image to follow from section to section.
So the rule of thirds. It's my cactus. And then my cowboy. Off in the distance is my mountains. Mountains. Cactus. That's the rule of thirds, because it hits there and there. But now, you can also use the rule of thirds to do close-ups. So if this is his cowboy hat, that's a bad cowboy hat. Here's your cowboy hat. Cowboy hat. I'm drawing from the side. Give me a break.
You have more depth of field behind a subject in focus. So if Stacy is in focus, the redhead in the middle, then Jen behind her is going to be in focus, while Sage in the front, who's barely in the shot, will not be in the focus. However, if I focus on Sage in the front left corner, then Stacy, the redhead, might be a little in focus, but Jen in the back will certainly not. One should start in an awkward position, and then at the end, they will be in a much smoother ending.
I'm starting filming. I'm starting in the awkward position.
Leading lines is a composition technique where the viewer's eyes are attracted to lines that lead directly to the principal subject. So down the stairs, the railings point to the dead body. The 180-degree rule is a cinematography guideline that states that two characters in a scene should maintain the same left and right relationship to each other. And I'm staying on one side of the lamp line, of the lamp cord at least, and not passing between Stacy and Rocky. One way you can jump the line, you can circle the two subjects that way the camera is moving, or the actors themselves can circle while the camera is being still. 2 ways you can change shot composition are changing the shot by 45 degrees or changing the shot length, so doing a long shot and then doing an extreme close-up. If it's blue outside, looking on your camera, the white balance is off, so you can just go into your camera under settings, under white balance, and click the customize white balance button and zoom in on something white that is outside, and it'll have the entire setting fixed so that everything looks normal based off of that white that you shot. Low-key lighting is very dark, while high-key lighting is super bright. So low-key light accentuates the contours of the subject by throwing areas into shadows, while the high-key light illuminates shadows and controls contrast, making everything much brighter. Mise-en-scène is the arrangement of all aspects on screen, anything from the actors, the colors, the props. So while Bree is looking quite sad, we framed her through the window looking out with the dark lighting, holding some alcohol as a prop. She's wearing a sweatshirt. She looks sad. This is a sad scene. Sad mise-en-scène. Interlace recording was when TV broadcasters needed to use a little bandwidth, so images would be basically half erased, kind of in lines. Odd frames would be shown half an image, and then even frames would be shown half of that other image that wasn't shown. So when put together, your brain would see the whole image, so only half the visual information was presented, back and forth, on and off of images, but you still processed it. However, with progressive images, images are projected in rapid succession and one after the other, and it creates an illusion of motion when all visual information is presented, which leads you to persistence of vision. Is just seeing individual images. Instead of just seeing individual images, we are seeing motion. So even though it's just one circle ball over and over drawn separately, you are seeing the ball bounce off the wall. When 2 shots are shown together, people relate the images in their mind. So when Bree raises her eyebrow and sees me on the couch, she's shaking her head at her silly roommate. However, when Bree sees that the chair is broken in her kitchen, she's a little annoyed at whoever broke the chair in her kitchen. Shot reverse shot is a scene where one character looks at another character off screen and it switches.
Is the spray stuff that you can spray in your shoes and it makes them smell less bad.
If you put if you spray rubbing alcohol in shoes, it'll soak up all the bacteria and help it stop to smell.
That does make sense.
An audience sees what the character on screen sees. This helps establish continuity editing. This creates a cut between 2 shots that juxtapose their graphically similar images. The book looks a lot like the laptop closing. Parallel editing is the process of alternating 2 scenes that are happening in different locations but at the same time. Hannah is quite the lazy roommate, while Bree does all the housework and she's pretty annoyed with her. Matching on action editing is where the editor cuts from one shot to another view that matches the first shot's action. So as I close the fridge, you can see it from a different point of view at the same time. Continuity editing is the process of combining related shots into a sequence to direct the viewer's attention to a pre-existing consistency of a story. So while I clean the dishes and put them away, everything is in the same spot, including the towel for when Bree walks in and she picks up that dish to use. So viewers are not confused about anything that happened in the time between I did the dishes and when Bree is using the dishes. To first demonstrate a character in screenplay, you must keep their name in all capitals in the first time, and then after that you don't have to capitalize them anymore. When ingesting footage from my SD card, I will first put it into my computer, onto my hard drive in the raw footage file. Then go to File, Import, and import all of that footage, and it'll be in my little project window, and I can grab all of those files from there to edit with.